Today is episode 4, and it is the day we will finally see our Utah Tech Gremlins in action for the first time, including 4-star true freshman gem quarterback Muhammad Asomugha, aka Mo. He's got great all-around ratings to kick things off to the point where I think he can have some early success as long as the blocking holds up and his receivers can get open in any sort of way. Flanking him in the backfield will be a pair of true freshman 4-star running backs themselves. We've got the Lightning here and Anthony DeBeer with 94 speed, also sporting that elite development. I guess it doesn't show it here. We'll have to hop in here. Elite development on Anthony DeBeer. He has a lot of room for growth and should be an exciting watch for us this year. And then you've got the Thunder, the big man who's not quite as speedy, only 87 speed on him, but he could get faster throughout his career. But he's going to lay the lumber a bit. He's going to be trucking people, we hope. Perhaps our biggest acquisition in the portal was 6'5" receiver Malachi Coleman with star development. He has 97 speed, 90 catching, 95 spec catch. His route runnings are all really solid. This should be the number one target for Mo early on in his career, although his development in his first offseason with us already has him thinking about transferring before he's even played a game with us. At tight end, we'll have a blocker in Dorian Thomas to go along with a receiver in Meyer Sweeney. Offensive line, we're going to be starting a pair of true freshman tackles in Harper and in Aurora. On the interior, we'll have redshirt junior Jerome Williams. We'll have redshirt junior Cole Mosier, who's also already thinking about transferring. And the best offensive lineman on the squad is Noah Dunham. Again, his offseason development has made him already thinking about the portal. So we're going to have to really heavily recruit offensive line, and we will talk about recruiting in just a second. Flipping over to the defense, Brenton Williams is our best pass rusher for the upcoming season, but speed rusher Cash Dillon has some really nice finesse moves about him. That's really all he can do, but he can do those finesse moves at a pretty high rate here. On the interior, we've got some solid strength here with Austin Ramsey, redshirt junior. At the linebacker spot, we have the highest overall player on the entire team in Blaine Merrick. Not the speediest of guys, but he is a very smart ball player. He tackles well. He can stop the run, and he's even not that bad against the pass. We have a pair of corners here who figure to be the strength of our defense, this cornerback room. In the secondary, we also have our other 4-star gem in safety, Brendan Carmen, another guy with elite development and a ton of growth potential. I'm excited to watch this team play for the first time. I hope you are as well. It'll be a very tough matchup in our first game against the BYU Cougars. But seeing as how that is not until week 2, we've got some time to burn before then. And so let's talk about what we'll be doing in the interim, and that is scouting. If you're wondering if I've changed my strategy from what I did last year after only signing 4 recruits during the season, I have not. Just like last year, I have 13 4-star recruits on my board. I think the fact that we're not going to be losing every game by 178 will help us do better in terms of the recruiting cycle here. We'll still be losing most of our games, but it won't be by as much, and it won't be every single game, I don't think. There is still a chance we go 0-12. We are only a 51 overall team, but I think we can sneak a win or two in there and just look a lot better as a football team, which I think should help our recruiting. We have 3 gems on the board for us. Earl Durham is our number 1 player. He has us at 7th on his list. He has 84 finesse moves to start out, 82 speed, 87 acceleration. I think he's going to be an awesome player, has a couple of mental abilities. He wants to be close to home. We have an A- in that area, so should be in the mix for him, although he does have schools that are even closer to home, including Missouri, with a Tier 4 pipeline as his number 1. So we'll see how heavily he's recruited by Missouri. Earl Metzger, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. He wants to play, and at receiver, he absolutely should be able to. 88 speed is pretty good for this game, and his route running looks good. He's just a really well-rounded player, a gem out of Portland, Oregon. Doesn't have us on his list yet, so I'm hoping he doesn't reach his top 8 after just this week. Neither does Dom Westbrooks, who has a lot of schools with really high pipelines on his list, but I really think we could use a tight end. Our tight end that we have on our roster, our best receiving tight end, is a normal development player with not a lot of room to grow, so we could certainly, I think, do better with a guy like Dom Westbrooks here, a physical route runner out of Virginia. After that, we're done with the gems, but we still got some really good players. Well-rounded offensive linemen, I think, just are always so good. All his blocking ratings are in the 80s to start off, so I'm very interested in Westbrooks here. And with a lot of our offensive linemen already looking to transfer, that's going to be a priority position for me in this cycle. Salisi Urban here, I would also like to get a linebacker with some actual speed on him, and he figures to do that for us. The athlete out of Bellflower, California. We have a Tier 1 pipeline there. Same with Enrique Amano here, who has 90 speed at the corner spots. We have a couple of really solid corners, but they're juniors and seniors for now, so I think we need to continue to attack that position. Back to the offensive line for Alfonso Penny here. Definitely a pass block specialist for now, but we'll take what we can get at the offensive line. Shakir Chubb is a receiver here who also very well-rounded, a little bit faster than the guy we have at the top, but seeing as how he is not a gem, we have him a little bit lower down on our list. Another corner here, Maka Sopowaga, who we have a Tier 2 pipeline with. Rodney Judovsky is a linebacker. Doesn't really have the speed that I'm looking for, but great acceleration and some solid all-around skill set there. Anthony Lacombo, gap specialist. I don't know how much I actually love the gap specialist skill set here. He's really doesn't have a lot in the way of pass rush moves right now, but he's on our board. Stoneburner is a bust, but he also has all of his pass block and run block ratings in the 80s here, so that's going to keep him on our board. Even if he has normal development, I'm going to take that. And then Jamie Akbar, we are currently in the middle of scouting. That is our preseason board. How many of these guys we'll end up with, time will tell. We'll be able to get through the first couple of weeks of scouting here in this episode. We did get shut out by one guy, and it's the athletic linebacker I really wanted. That sucks. But he's already reached his top 8. It looks like he might be going to one of our rivals in UCLA. But Salisi Urban already locked us out. So that puts us down to 12 to start. I would like to finish the scouting on Akbar here. Okay. So we got 440 hours now. So we don't have as many hours as we had the last season. We did drop from 2.5 stars down to 2. We also want to offer him a scholarship here. Although, he's reaching his top 8 next week, and we're not going to be in it. So actually, I just wasted 15 hours this week on a guy. I probably should have checked that before. Everyone else here, we should be able to stay in the mix for with a nice send the house week for as many as we can. Some will have to just contact their friends and family, but that is what it is. So we will be rocking with this. I think we want a linebacker, so I think I'll go send the house here. One guy, there's going to be one guy we can only put 10 hours into. Is there anybody not being heavily recruited? Not really. So it's actually going to be Dom Westbrooks. That I don't love it because he's a gem, but we're only going to be able to... No, we need to get on his board. So what we're going to do... That 15 hours that I wasted is really coming back to bite me in the butt here for this week. Let's do this. And then we'll just put somebody on 35. And it's probably, even though he doesn't have anybody, we need to get on his board. No, he doesn't. He's the one guy who's not being contested. Should we put it on Chubb? We already have another receiver on the board. We're already putting 50 on him. Let's put it on the offensive lineman, although he really likes Tennessee, so we'll see how it goes going forward. This is going to be our week 1, or week 0, I should say, plan for recruiting, and we'll get some hours that we wasted back next week. All right, I think it's time that we're going to get out early on a couple of these players. We're number 1 for Durham here. These gems I'm going to fight a little bit harder for, a little bit longer. Also probably Westbrooks. He's not a gem, but he's really good. We'll go one more week because we just barely got onto his list, so we'll see if we can make up any ground on maybe Auburn, but that's looking unlikely. I think Amano is going to the University of Utah. Alfonso Penny. We made a lot more progress than USC, and we have a higher pipeline tier than them. Oregon has a higher pipeline tier than us, but they're barely going after him. Chubb, if we put 50 hours in, I think we could get him. Because North Texas is making pretty much the same when we were only putting 25 hours into him. Just got on the list for Stoneburner. Lakamba we might be just needing to get out of. Just got on this guy's list. So we need to put 50 on Asomugha or else he's reaching his top 8 without us on it. So, okay. I mean, we probably should give up on Westbrooks, honestly. We could put our hours for somebody who might actually commit, but I'm going at least one more week. Jadovsky's probably going to Oregon, too. I mean, that looks like they're putting 50 hours into him with a 5-tier pipeline, if you ask me. Although maybe not. That might be them putting in like 25 hours. We'll go one more week. Yeah, we'll do this for this week. This could be a couple of guys we probably should get out on, but I'm going to go one more week on, and then we'll probably be switching things up next week. All right, T. Westbrooks. It kind of looks like we actually made the more progress than anybody last week, but I looked at all the possible hard sells, and we kind of suck at all of them. So I feel like we're just not going to be in the race for him, unfortunately. This hurts, but we're going to go off of him. And I think we're just going to increase both these guys to top 50. I mean, that Westbrooks was already in his top 5 with Auburn up there with the gold pipeline tier. It's the kind of one where last year I would have just kept going thinking that I had a chance, but I just honestly don't really think that we do. So we know 2 of Durham's, and they're both in the A's, so that's a good start for sure. Which one is it though? Looks like this one. Yeah, that's about as good of a hard sell as we have possible, which makes sense why he's wanted us the whole time. We just got to try and stay ahead of Arkansas. I like that the 2 teams really pursuing him both don't have pipeline tiers, which is nice. Jadovsky here has reached his top 5 as well, with Oregon firmly in first place. I want a linebacker, but I don't even know if he's good enough to really fight this hard over. So we only likes conference prestige. That's the only one. I've been getting really bad luck, or when we only know one check mark, it's also the same as his. So it could be this. That'd be terrible. These guys that care about conference prestige, they just like this one would be okay, but we know it's not it. That one would be terrible. This one would be terrible. Yeah, I mean, we just can't. I think we got to give up on him as well. We don't have a good enough hard sell to really close that gap. So we have 50 hours left now. Is there anybody else we should give up on here? We just barely started putting 50 on him, so I think that'll put us in the race. Same with him. We made by far the most progress on Asomugha. Number 1 on him now. Number one. Not number 1 yet, but by far the most progress in number 1. So I think these other guys we should all continue to recruit, but it's time for us to add someone else to our board now. And here it is, the official beginning of the Muhammad Asomugha era in Utah Tech Gremlins history. Hopefully one filled with a lot of success. Maybe not this year, but if we can see some players build the foundation for success in the years to come, that's exactly what we'll be looking for here as we get a first down. Malachi Coleman, the first guy to get a ball here in the season. 3rd and 4, though. The pressure gets to him. He had time to make a read, but just couldn't find anything he liked. Punting on the first possession, and BYU with Ohio State transfer Tavian St. Clair as their quarterback. He gets a big pickup on the read option here. Big-time transfer for BYU, and he's picked off by Tucker. Over on the sideline, a questionable decision by St. Clair to heave it up into double coverage, and he pays the price. As one of the biggest transfers we got in the portal last season is already making plays. Max Tucker wearing number 3 for us. The opening possession of the season is a good one defensively. 3rd and 10 for the offense, though, trying to avoid giving it right back. Asomugha will just settle for the check down, but we're going for it on 4th down. Yannick Smith, the reception, not enough. Marquis Blunt into the backfield for 4th and 2. The blocks are there. He has a first down and more inside the 40 to the 39. Anthony DeBeer now with the carry. He gains 8. 2nd and 2, a good drive going for Utah Tech. Shaking off a tackle is Mo Asomugha. Fresh set of downs now inside the 30. Mo takes his man underneath, gets down to the 20. This is a really good drive going, but that was on 3rd down, so it's going to end here. 4th and 6 from the 20. We don't have the best kicker, but hopefully he can hit from this distance. And he does, and surprisingly enough, the first team to score in this one will be the Utah Tech Gremlins with the first quarter winding down 3-0 on the board. St. Clair, he has a first down completion over the middle. Worth noting that we're using 13-minute quarters for this game. Great play by Brenton Williams as we now start the second. I've done some testing outside of the franchise, or outside of the Dynasty, excuse me, and I do think with the accelerated clock set at 13 seconds that it is possible to have 15-minute quarters, which of course will help us simulate realism. Tried to take a deep shot there on 3rd down, but it doesn't work for Mo Asomugha. So I forgot to change it back to 15 for this game, but for the rest of the season, we will be using 15-minute quarters unless we see that it's too much. This season will honestly kind of be hard to judge just because of the quality of our team, though. So I've been using more kind of balanced matchups from like I said, an offline Dynasty, and 15-minute quarters actually has given some pretty good scores and snap counts. BYU marching down inside the 5, but a great stop there brings up 3rd and goal, and Cash Dillon in the backfield. A transfer from inside the state makes the play and forces BYU to settle for a tying field goal here Now halfway through the seconds, and it is no good. These hash marks in college football are brutal. Makes these tight field goals actually kind of difficult. Utah Tech retains the lead. We're under 4 minutes left in the half. Mo on 3rd and 7 has time. Forced to take the check down to Malachi Coleman. Is 4th down, and we punt it. Tavian St. Clair into the flat, and a great play made by Ricardo Ramsey, the 4-star freshman corner. Blitz coming, and it gets there. The Utah Tech defense has been balling out this first half. Under 2 minutes remaining, Utah Tech going to try and extend their lead. But on 3rd and 13, another check down. Mo just has not been able to find anything past the sticks on these 3rd downs. It's been a heavyweight defensive battle so far in the first half, and BYU with one more chance to score here in the half. Tavian St. Clair taking some hits, but moving the chains. Down to 30 seconds remaining. Pocket collapses. He steps up. Could have had a touchdown, I think, but avoided the hit from the freshman safety, Carmen. Instead, they'll have 1st and goal. St. Clair into the end zone. It is hauled in for 6. BYU takes the lead for the first time in this game with under 20 seconds remaining in the half. This has been a much closer fought battle than I think anyone going into the week anticipated between the rivals BYU and Utah Tech, but such is often the case with rivalries. The Battle of Utah Valley has been a close one through 1 here. Taking a look at the first half stats, BYU has been much better on a per play basis, but the Gremlins have made some key 3rd down stops, got that 1 interception. Their offense just has not been able to do much, particularly on the ground. I think Anthony DeBeer has like 2 runs where he's gained yards in the half. Great play made by Carmen, our elite 4-star freshman. St. Clair all day in the pocket on 3rd and 11, though, and he finds a man eventually. Another 3rd down. This one a shorter one. The give to the back is good for a 1st. Into Utah Tech territory where Bretton Williams is going to bring down St. Clair. He's had a couple of highlight plays for us. Coming off the edge, our best defensive lineman. Cash Dillon applying the pressure on 3rd and 9, and we'll stop them short. 4th and 1 now. They'll elect to go for the field goal to extend their lead, and this time the kicker comes through for the squad, drilling that one from much deeper than his first attempt, which was a miss. 1st and 10, and I just wanted to show you what the ground game was for most of the day. I mean, we were losing 2 yards at a time on pretty much 2/3 of our runs, if not even more than that. Taking a sack on 3rd down. We've just had not been a good 3rd down team in this game. It's either been checkdowns or losses. Speed option for BYU. That's going to be a big play. Spinning off tackles inside the 30 is Sionamoa. He gets the carry here again. Pancake blocks down the field, get him inside the 10. The mismatch at the line of scrimmage is becoming a little bit more apparent as we get to the 3rd quarter here on both sides of the ball. BYU's getting a lot of space in the ground game, and they're creating a lot of havoc in the Utah Tech backfield on the other ends. I mean, remember when we had a 3-0 lead with 30 seconds left in the first half? All of a sudden, down by 14. BYU has had a great start to the second half. We're down to a minute left in the 3rd. It's been all BYU in the quarter. 3rd and 1. We finally got a 3rd and short, and another loss on a run play. We are punting. 4th and 2 from the 29-yard line. And our punter, I'm just going to say this, not recruiting a punter, even though we desperately needed those positions elsewhere, might have been a mistake. Some of these punts are 25 yards, and they're not really helping us at all. Great run there to set up 1st and 10 from the 26. Play action for St. Clair. He's running for his life. Cash Dillon gets there, And finally, the third man is able to bring him down. It still looks like they'll give the sack to the edge player. Speed option and a terrible pursuit angle by the freshman Carmen will lead to a BYU touchdown. And now all of a sudden we're looking at a blowout as BYU now leads 24-3. Sione Moa has had himself a really good second half and now has BYU up a bunch. With 1 second left on the play clock, Mo tried to find something downfield, and he's down for another sack again. The mismatch at the line of scrimmage has become quite apparent here in the second half, and it is so again. They have just worn us down as the game has gone along. They're instantly in field goal range as Carmen comes up big on that run fit. Not quite making up for his missed pursuit angle on the previous drive, but we do force BYU to just a field goal this time. That's a win compared to what this second half has been. The hope for a win has pretty much evaporated at this point, but could we get our first touchdown of the season on the board? Not with the pass rush being this disruptive. That superstar defensive tackle for BYU has made things really difficult for us, and there's the first interception in the career of Mo Asomugha. Hope has officially dwindled out here for Utah Tech. St. Clair adds to it with another touchdown pass to make it now a 30-point game. We were pitching a shutout until 30 seconds left in the first half. BYU now has 34 points. Part of that is due to honestly, our terrible punter. Finishing out the rest of this game, we'd end up losing 41-3. Tavian St. Clair, the redshirt freshman transfer, had an awesome game. After the early pick he threw, he just was surgical in the second half. I mean, what a throw there. I don't know why our linebacker didn't even react to it, but it is what it is. He's not the best player, to be fair. Ultimately, if you take a look at this game, like kind of projecting it forward, which half was the kind of fraudulent half, right? Because it was a tale of two very, very different halves. And honestly, I got to say, it kind of felt like the first half was a little bit more fraudulent. I think we got, a couple of good fortune plays with an interception that I'm not sure we're always going to get, although our corners are pretty solid. I mean, Malachi Coleman held to just 7 yards, was really unfortunate. 4 catches, just none of them really were downfield. We didn't have time to throw downfield in this game. And we were just bullied in that second half, and that was the tale of this football game by the end. Let's end the episode on a positive note. Checking back in on our recruiting. Earl Durham continues to really like what he sees with us. We probably should think about scheduling a visit. Is there someone here we could get a complimentary visit on? I think we could probably go for a double week 5. Our defensive tackles and edges, they gotta be complimentary, right? So we have 25 hours remaining. I'm not sure how much I actually even like Antoine Woodside here. He only has 81 speed. If he's a gem, we'll keep him. He's not a gem, okay. That gives us 40 hours on the week. Let's use 15 of those to get Durham in on a week 5 visit. We'll have playing time there. We have some guys on top 5, so with these remaining 25 hours, you might be able to schedule another visit, although these guys require more hours than we can actually, because they're kind of far away from us, so we can't actually use those for an hour, but for a visit, excuse me, but we'll see. I'll find out the best way to use these hours here. So I was able to get a visit scheduled week 6 for Earl here I still need to figure out how we're going to pronounce that last name, but also got a double sway on him because he has 2 possibilities. Probably hope that his campus personality, because we have 2 A+ there. But I think this is the way to go. We'll see what I mean, we made a lot more progress than Tennessee did this last week. What do we know? So we know he's going to care about conference prestige and pro potential. So we could have a solid pitch there. Had to take a little bit off of Durham. Hopefully going from DM to social media won't really hurt him, and we're not able to add the extra 10 points this week for Shakir Chubb, who we're also doing a double soft sell for. One guy, we are doing the sway and soft sell. This didn't work for us very much last year, but if we can get, but his pitchers are just so bad. His ideal pitch is so bad. We just got to get the sway here. We have 2 check marks. Theoretically, that should mean we have a good chance to sway. Hopefully we do. And that's going to be it here for week 3 now, recruiting. Next episode, we'll be taking on FCS Midwest, looking for the first win in school history. I'm excited for it. I hope you all are too, and I will see you then. Let's go Gremlins, baby.